Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Inspiration for Today. It's Wednesday, and we're continuing our theme of baptism, about baptism. And we have today with us Loretta Sayles. Am I saying your last name correctly?
Correct, Sayles.
And Loretta just got baptized just a couple weeks ago. Was that a good experience for you?
Oh, it was a wonderful experience. And it was so nice because I got to do it with one of the women from my small group I've become very close to. And she was being baptized and I was recommitting myself. And so we wanted to do it together. And our small group was there to support us. And it was something I'll remember the rest of my life. It was very special.
I love that you said that, because the small group is where you make good friends, and evidently you've clicked with the ladies of your small group.
I love my small group. They're so supportive. I met them the first day I came to visit Saddleback Church at Clubhouse 5. And actually, the day I moved in, my neighbor is in this small group, and she invited me to church, told me where Clubhouse 5 was.
Who was that?
Julie Mira, and to look up our small group leader, who was always there at the 9 o'clock service, and that's Carolyn Cummings. And I could find her in the back of the room working one of the tables, so I found her.
You have a great group. I love Carolyn.
And I found a home not only for church, but also I couldn't have a better group.
So we want to get to know you also. So you were telling me that you've been in churches most of your life, and you tell us about that. You even as a child, eh?
Right, because I grew up in Boomer Holler, West Virginia. And that was a very, very small coal mining town in the mountains of West Virginia. There were two churches. You either went to the Catholic Church or you went to the Baptist Church, and that's about the only social life there was.
Wow.
And so from the time I was the baby of 6 children, and from the time, probably at least from the first grade on, I remember going to church because I could just walk there with my brothers and sisters. And so we went to Sunday school and church at the Baptist Church. And so it's always been a part of my life. And when I was 12, I was baptized there.
You know, that is really interesting, Loretta, because I guess they call it baptized or dedicated or something. No, I was baptized in the Presbyterian Church as a baby. And later on, I wanted to get baptized because like in my around 30, I wanted to express my faith where I chose, not my parents. But you got baptized then, and then a lot of time went by.
A lot of time, and I moved away from West Virginia, and I got into business, and I lived in Florida for about 25 years before I moved here to California. And it's interesting, I think the Lord led me here, truthfully. Yeah. I decided that I have only one daughter and one granddaughter, and my granddaughter was going into high school, and I needed to move out here and be near them. And so that's what
your move directly from Florida then?
I moved from Florida to here to be near my daughter who lives in Seal Beach. And I chose Laguna Woods for 2 reasons. My daughter said, "Mom, they have lots of activities. You'll love it." And number 2, she said, "Rick Warren has a church there." And I was very familiar with Rick Warren and his books, but I was not that familiar with Saddleback. So
it's really interesting because we've tried twice to start something in Leisure World there in Seal Beach, and it just didn't happen, and a little more resistance there than here.
Well,
so I'm really thankful for this community, and that's where we live anyway, and we love it here and don't plan to move. So I'm glad the Lord, I do believe he led you here. You're such
He did. He
Yeah.
did. And I have grown so much. I took a class 101 and 201 and 301, and the shape coach was wonderful.
And
I've learned.
401, which I teach, we're doing in January.
I know, I'm signed up.
Oh, good for you. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now you are living here and so on. And then what made you decide, you know what, I would get baptized? What was it this time?
I think it was because I was growing so much as a Christian once I came here. I'd always attended church and been somewhat involved. But when I came here, and Saddleback is so much about ministries, and I started thinking about retiring, which I still work part-time, and I will be retiring at the end of the year. And what can I do? What are my best, what would be my best ministries? And so that got me thinking, and I just feel like I started doing food distribution, and I love that. And now I'm volunteering at the Peace Center as an admin 2 days a week. And I think that there are a lot of other areas that I want to get into. And I just feel that I've grown so much. And as part of that, I wanted to rededicate my life to Christ. And just a way of saying, I've made this journey and I'm here and I'm ready to do his ministry.
Loretta, I'm so glad that you made that decision, both for you personally, because I know that it's an important moment in your life when you publicly declare like that you're following of Christ. And that was a very public day. That's the most crowded I have ever seen the pool when we did a baptism, and we've been doing them for years. But for some reason that Sunday there were lots of folks there.
It was wonderful.
And they watched, and so that was a neat thing. But I also glad so that we were able to do this, because I love hearing your story and how we could have gone a long time without me knowing how involved you are. And you have actually highlighted, I think, one of Saddleback's strengths, which is that we are good at helping people find ways to serve that they like.
I think I had struggled with that for many years. I never found a place. I was never in a small group situation, and I was never encouraged to have my own ministry or think that I could contribute that way.
Well, you can. You're needed. And so are the folks watching. I mean, I know some people say, well, I don't know what I would do. You don't have to know what you would do, because we'll help you find a place, because living a fulfilled Christian life includes service in some way. And I love that you found the Peace Center on your own, I think.
Well, no, my shape coach, I have to say, she led me there. Based on what I had done and my work in business and so forth, and organization is my thing. So,
well, that's good to know. Well, I always encourage people to remember, learn the date and hold on to that date, as this was when as an adult who knows what they're doing, I declared my faith. And so I don't need to worry about where I'm going, and you don't.
Right. It is a very peaceful feeling.
Yes. So thank you very, very much for sharing today. I feel like we're friends now.
That's right.
I know. I got to talk to you for a lot longer than I have at church. So anyway, well, everyone, tomorrow we're going to look at the other ordinance that the church does, and that's communion. And actually, we're going to take communion together on Friday, something we've never done on air, but we're going to do it on Friday. God bless everyone.
Beautiful day. It's wonderful. This is the day that the Lord has